Hello, and thanks for joining us for Our Ventura TV. I'm MB Hanrahan, and today my guest is my friend, as well as being the interim executive director of the Ventura County Arts Council, Craig Rosen. Hi, Craig.
Hello, MB. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And for those that may not know what exactly our Ventura County Arts Council does, has done, wants to do, why don't you give us a quick recap of what you're all about?
Sure. I mean, it's a little tough to recap with a mission as big as representing arts countywide, but we do have a designation from the Board of Supervisors to be the official partner with the California Arts Council. They've been a great partner. They really raise money for the arts. They work closely with political leaders to get the arts budgets increased, and the governor has been supportive of that and has been doing that. So there's more grants coming. So in addition to writing grants for projects that we do with them and programs and our operational money, we also join with other groups and sometimes have convenings to encourage people, nonprofit arts organizations, to apply for these grants because they're very attainable, and California Arts Council has been wonderful to work with. So in addition to having that mission, we also are here to try to support the arts in any way we can to connect. We need to advocate in front of government to try to get the arts more front and center. And we try to work with businesses as well, and just in general promote the arts. And especially we look to working in some of the marginalized and communities that don't get equal representation to see if we can do a better job of that.
Follow up with that. Like, what are some exact, organizations, and what have you done, and what do you want to do?
Absolutely. Well, so for instance, when I first started working with the Ventura County Arts Council as development person, there was a program in place to bring arts instruction into Juvenile Hall, which we've talked about, and you painted a mural in there. And that's been great to work with that population because they certainly are the epitome of being marginalized, the kind of life experiences that they've had. So we program arts there, and we program arts at other facilities that work with system engaged, as they refer to them these days, youth, whether it's foster homes or teen centers that function as evening reporting centers designated by the probation agency for youth that are getting out of the halls.
Transitioning.
And then,
Yes.
Yes, exactly. And then, we partner with organizations like Teatro de las Americas in Oxnard, or we partnered recently with Spectrum Collaborative, which represents LGBTQ plus artists and teens in SEMI. And we've connected them with some other groups that we've met doing that in Oxnard to just find ways to give opportunities to people like that who frequently face discrimination.
Okay, that sounds great. I'd like to hear a little bit about, and I know you're a writer and a poet, what have been some exact, specific programs? We spoke of mural painting, certainly, but some specific programs that you all have seen some success with in the past and going forward. Because may I say, we are speaking now in what is called a post-COVID time of pivoting and redefining and such, but it's made it challenging to get into certain institutions and such like that. But going forward, some specific programs.
Well, so you're right. I mean, the facility, the Juvenile Hall, was closed on 2 occasions for it was a whole year the first time, and that's very challenging. One of the things that we started doing, and I want to give a shout out to CAPS Media, is that I've been putting a radio show on that airs 3 times a week, but I probably have material every month for it. It's called Teen Centric. And I interview youth inside the facility and at some of these other places that I mentioned. And what's been really cool is they have a radio station there inside Juvenile Hall. Little known fact, it only broadcasts within the facility, but we were just starting to train the kids in the radio room, and I had Elizabeth and Evan, who's no longer at CAPS, but both of them come in. And as we were getting that going, COVID shut it down, but they introduced me to a portable machine that allows you to record and mix. And I've been taking that to places, and I've taken it into the hall recently because due to staffing issues, we can't move the kids to the radio room, but we can take the radio room to them, so to speak.
Right.
And you know what? They love it. It's literally having their voices be heard. And it feels very cool and professional to have a microphone and to have a set of headphones and to see a mixing board with the lights flashing. But I'm teaching them just interviewing techniques, and hopefully we will get back to the radio room to edit on the computer so they can learn about audio editing. But it's been great to partner with CAPS on that. And if anybody wants to try to look for Teen Centric, I think there's some real insights into these youth, and we have them recite their poems and sometimes put music behind it. So it's just been a really positive show.
Wow, I wonder if like a podcast could be developed out of that.
Well, it kind of is like that a little, yeah.
Okay. And how about so are the writing programs and like actual physical art programs still something that you might try to push?
They're happening in there again. We're back. And Joe Galarza, who's also a muralist, is one of the teaching artists that we go in and work with there. And soon he's going to be painting a mural on the Maritime Museum celebrating the Chumash Tamol building, which are those canoes that they can paddle across the ocean to the Channel Islands. And it's just been a really fascinating part of their culture to learn about. And a local Chumash elder and native storyteller named Alan Salazar has been helping to reclaim that culture, and they do an annual paddle. So there'll be a mural on that museum wall soon, and Joe's going to paint it. And yeah, we're just, Artists in the Classroom, which is a program about, that also was hit pretty hard by COVID, but there's been new dollars appearing for COVID relief and for something called extended learning opportunities. So we're seeing some of the districts offer summer classes and talk about after school classes. So we are looking to find even more teaching artists, people who want to teach young people the arts, whether it's theater, fine art. Reach out to us at Ventura County Arts Council. There's information on the website, and we'd love to find you.
No, we'll have you give that information again at the end. Thank you so much. Another buzzword, and as it well might be, how is the Ventura County Arts Council reaching out as far as promoting diversity, like cultural diversity, gender identification diversity, sexual preference diversity, and such? Well,
so I feel the best thing that we can do is identify groups who really are working in those populations specifically, and see where we can either, if they're a nonprofit organization, help them write grants, help them build capacity, partner with them. I literally wrote the grant that funded the program for Spectrum Collaborative. Now, they already had their program up and running, but like many nonprofit organizations, they're capacity stressed, and so they don't have the ability to just hire a grant writer. So I wrote the grant, and they got the grant, and they're continuing their programming, and this time they can afford to pay their artist mentors. So it's efforts like that where we try to find groups that are doing the work, and then can we help you? Can we partner with you? Can we give you a little more exposure to, for instance, we have the Atrium Gallery program where we curate the walls of the government center. And we've partnered with organizations like MyCop, and there was a photo exhibit that featured field workers and members of the indigenous community. And then we've also partnered with a group that helps disabled adult artists to get their work, made, sold, and displayed. And so these opportunities that we can offer other groups where they might get in front of government officials or people that wouldn't normally have a chance to see and hear about them is one of the things that we can do.
Well, it's really, fantastic that we're putting out the word that it is not just necessarily what the Arts Council specifically creating programs, but that other artists and arts groups and culture groups to use you as a resource for information, interfacing, connections, advocating work in our county, and to get out maybe what was something, I know how it is. I'm in Ventura, and you start thinking Ventura is the whole world. No, it isn't. There's right. Oxnard, there's Simi Valley, right. So that it's that people need to use you. You need to be used.
We do. And it's a good way to put it. And, I mean, you may have some experience writing grants because you're certainly somebody that's managed to underwrite your murals and connect with a lot of different funding resources to find projects like that where they actually take place. And what I've seen is that a lot of people who are unfamiliar with grants do have this fear around it. And we're trying to really break through that because California Arts Council grants are not nearly as difficult as state and federal grants. I mean, it's a state grant, but I mean, just sometimes a little bit more intensive state grants. And so I just want to encourage people to reach out to us and say, if you're trying to do something like that and you need a little help, we're here to help you.
So as we all know, when there's crisis, it's an opportunity. Have you given any thought to what you see as the opportunity in these times, pivoting, coming out of where we've come from, lockdowns, XYZ? People can point out a lot of reasons why they're maybe failing or not achieving what they want, but is there opportunity in these times? What do you see for going forward with the organization?
Well, that's a good question. And not to put everything in a sort of how can this help us view, but maybe what I'm thinking could be something that the performing arts were exceptionally impacted by COVID.
Okay.
And it's still true. Movie theaters, we know the game has changed. I mean, that coincided with this sort of binging and releasing, 16 episodes on a TV series and the explosion of platforms. But what I noticed is recently we had an event and a lot of people came, and I think the COVID malaise and just the burnout of it all, I see more people at restaurants, it seems. And so we're starting to think that maybe this is an opportunity to put on cool events. And, we can promote our name and hopefully raise a few dollars for the arts, but also just get people together doing exciting things, introduce them to different artists at these events or whatnot. So that's just one of the things I'm thinking of is like, how can we try to curate some cool events that bring people together as opposed to what we're doing now, which I'm happy to do, but it's like people are tired of it,
They are, but at the same token, I've been at some excellent hybrid events where housebound people are able to interface through a platform, and then people that want to be there live are there live, which sounds like what you're trying to do with some of the youth that are locked down, which for them lockdown has been a way of life, but we could go on forever. Craig, we have run out of time.
Okay.
And I'm anxious to see all these dreams come true.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for sharing, and go forward.
It's always a pleasure talking with you. And like you were saying, if you come to www.vcartscouncil.org and you are an artist who's interested in possibly some teaching opportunities, reach out to us because we're looking for you.
There you go. Thank you so much, Craig. And thank you for joining us on Our Ventura TV. I'm MB Hanrahan, and we'll see you around.